Okay, I was thinking here. Just some quick thoughts. Scale. Scale, like the scaling of the universe, the very largest thing we can imagine or see, to the very smallest we can imagine, because we can't see it. We can't see the very largest either, so we're kind of in the middle. But scaling in relationship to the world and life is infinite, only going down in scale. So far I've got 0.5 times infinity for the scaling, meaning things are reducible infinitely. Just, they'll mainstream would like to go to the quantum and whatever, but it can't actually be touched, felt, or verified, so it's just a thought experiment, really. But so is this, and it's along the same lines. And I say it's 0.5 to infinity because we know things that are smaller in scale, items, molecules, compounds, things of that we can still see, put it in a microscope and move around with a stick and say, yeah, there it is, right? Is there, and we're observing it, so it's part of the reality. But anything beyond what we can see, the dome of the sky, the stars and wandering stars, the earth around us, the electrical and magnetic fields we can verify with equipment, and light spectrums as well, and waveform phenomena, which is well established and perfect, really. Those can all be objectively, I think that's the right word, observed, and so they're within reality. On the physical plane, it's not getting into the planes of existence, but just as it pertains to this one. So I think that might be right. The scaling of the universe being a 0.5 to infinity, but the reason it can't go up is that, well, we can't see beyond our own height, to quote Schopenhauer. Wow, I feel smart now. He says a man can't see beyond his own height. He won't see the qualities of a finer nature in someone else that he lacks in himself. If he has those, he'll see those in other people, but if he doesn't, he won't. Well, the scaling of the universe can be related to that, in that we can only imagine, outer space and black holes and galaxies, doing this number, rotating like a broccoli, grows or something. Each little dot on the broccoli being another galaxy. Excuse me. We can only imagine that because we whip out a telescope and look up, but that's not the same as looking down. When we use a microscope, we're looking down. We have a very precise view. When we have a telescope looking up, you're just looking at something. There's a lot more detail to be seen with a telescope, like there is with a microscope, but it's fundamentally in a different position. You're not looking at something under your scale, which makes it objectively real. You're looking up at something from inside of it, which makes you the objectively real thing to whatever, if you were up there looking down, it would be the same as you looking down on something. It's not, I guess that's an oversimplification, but I think you know what I mean. Probably, if you made it this far, you probably understand what I'm trying to say. As far as the physical world goes, though, anything beyond the scale of what we can even, beyond what we know about, what we can observe, is just, is sci-fi. It's just make-believe. And, not that all sci-fi is make-believe, but anyway, scaling. And if consciousness is the source of all this, like mind energy, and it comes from within, then this scaling should apply. 0.5 times infinity. Because the consciousness that gives rise to it comes from within, and that, in a way, that would be relating consciousness to materialism, in a way, but maybe the mutual rising of them both is what I'm thinking, more along the lines of not one creating the other, but you can't have one without the other. Kind of like, who was that other philosopher? Schopenhauer quoted another philosopher, I think it was Kant or something, but this, there are things like a watch that's really fine, precise mechanisms, and we can see them. They were made and put together and assembled out of matter. And then where the form and what it is are the same in that it was made, though. And then there's a living thing that its form and its shape are intrinsically one thing. You can't separate the two. The scaling of the universe, or the world, as I would like to call it, actually, because universe implies this, fake outer space, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars bullshit. Which Star Wars was a good movie. I liked it, and when I was a kid, it was great. And now that it's 2026, I'm like, you know what? There's been a whole lot of horse shit put out as education and just common knowledge and common sense that is just simply is not. Now that I'm starting to catch on to the depth of the lies and just how deep the rabbit hole goes in that regard, I find myself thinking I know that my parents' generation and grandparents' generation, some of this talk had to be around. Why it never got talked about, I just don't know why. Everybody's just oh yeah, well, I guess we never knew anything at all ever in the history of the world, and they've all figured it out now in the 1900s. Let's go with that and not question it. So it's like the yes man generation or something. And I don't know why the hippies are supposedly all anti-establishment and for peace and love and all that shit, and getting with nature. Now they're all on their old people pills, and they're rolling their hub around, down to the Walmart to get their prescriptions filled. And it's like, what the fuck happened? Talk about hijacking generation. They were totally hijacked. Anyway, I'm a Gen Xer, so I'm towards the tail end Gen Xer. And shit, it sucks. It sucks because there was a real world that I grew up in, but then it just flip-flopped, between, I'm going to say that the big flip-flop happened between 1982, when I was 12, and 1998. So, when I was 38. 12 to 30, and through that, it just, everything got jumbled up into what is turning into the world we have now, and it's not by accident. And I think a lot of people attribute it to accident. Oh, it's just an accident. It's just people being stupid and making bad decisions that results in a world, like this. Yeah, that's funny. No, it's not. It's by design. But anyway, I'm gonna end it there. I don't know what else to say right now, because it was really about the little equation thing I came up with here, being the 0.5 by infinity for scaling. We don't need to concern ourselves. I should say, I don't need to concern myself with pondering the possibilities and such of infinite galaxies spiraling through space, gravity, gravity calculations and stuff. Gravity is BS. Magnetism is real, okay, and static electricity is real. Those things cling, If you wanted to liken why we sit on the ground and things float or don't float, I would start at static electricity and go with their charge potential between the things, and their charge potential is directly related to the material something's made out of and the structure of its shape, its geometry, which determines which comes from its electrical properties, not determines its electrical properties, but they're one and the same. Think about that. Yeah. Thanks for watching.